Hi, and welcome to an episode of Ambassador Adventures. I'm Kirsty, Vice President of CBCA WA, and we're so excited to spend the 80th year of Children's Book Council of Australia celebrating with 15 fantastic ambassadors, a dedicated committee, and the whole community of creatives, advocates, and of course, readers. This podcast is recorded and produced here on Wajak Noongar land, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And now, on to our guest. Welcome. Chenée Marrapodi is a children's writer and journalist. She is passionate not only about her writing and brings her loves and interests to the page, but also supporting other writers with her very own podcast. Her books One Wrong Turn and Breaking Point celebrate the joy of dance, showcase its athleticism, and allow middle and upper grade readers to explore themes of friendship, competition, and health, and so much more. They're fantastic books, and we're so excited to have you joining our adventures today. Welcome, Chenée.
Hello, how you going?
Good. It's so good to have you here. Are you happy to jump straight into it?
Let's do it.
What made you apply to be an ambassador for CBCA WA in the 80th birthday celebrations?
I feel like it's a very privileged position to be in one of the ambassadors, but I'm probably one of the newer members to the kid lit scene. My books only got published in the last few years, but it as soon as even before actually I signed that publishing contract, CBCA were there and they were encouraging me, and it's such a community feel, and they really are, I guess, the champions of children's literature. And so now being the big 80th celebration, I not only wanted to give back to CBCA, but I just wanted to help spread that word about how magnificent they are as an organisation, how many wonderful people are working for them, and how they're really championing kids' books, getting them into the hands of kids, but also supporting local authors like myself and helping us feel like we have this network and community.
It's so wonderful. And we chatted a little bit before about that community, and I think we just celebrate that it is this round relationship. Because the big event this year is obviously the 80th birthday, and we're having a birthday book adventure, which I know our ambassadors will be attending and doing different things on the day. So I want to do some quick fire things because I just love talking about those three parts. What is the best thing about birthdays to you?
All I can hear is my 4-year-old's little voice, a loud voice, saying cake. There's got to be cake. For him, a birthday is all about cake. So I'm hoping there is a big CBCA cake. But for me, now that I'm past the cake stage, kind of, I think it's actually that reflection. I feel like each birthday you look back and you kind of see how far you've come. And I mean, 80 years is no small feat for CBCA. That's huge. And I'm sure there's been a lot of change over that time, a lot of new faces, and a lot's happened. So I think it's a really good time for reflection.
There will absolutely be cake.
Thank goodness.
That's been very much, I think,
I'm
like
trying to be
couple list,
mature, but
it
really
was,
the cake is yes.
no, there is definitely cake on the day, so people need to come along and eat it. Next part of the adventure is books. What is the best thing about books? And I know that's such a loaded question, but for you, what is the best thing
It
about
is
books?
such a loaded question. But I think for me, it's always been escape, the escapism that comes with reading and that knowledge of being able to sit anywhere you want, but letting your mind travel to a complete other place. I can be in Italy, but I'm really in my own bed or doing something really mundane and boring, pick up a book, and all of a sudden I'm off on an adventure. I think books are just magic.
They really are. They just give people a chance to explore so many things, like either places or situations. And I just, yeah, I think it was a theme a couple of years ago with CBCA, which was like reading is magic, and it's just like, yes, like that is the truth. So
Isn't it
I think
also one other thing? It for me, reading has also always been a way of kind of making sense of the world, those big issues. It's it makes them really accessible, particularly for young readers. Things that are hard to comprehend around them, particularly put it in a fiction book, all of a sudden it makes sense. You get to see it through someone else's eyes, and it's not as confronting as actually living it.
it's magic. Like I just think
It
there's no
really
other
is
word for
magic.
it. Like, yeah. So then what's the best thing about adventures?
I think it's that discovering something new and taking a risk. For me, the word adventure actually sounds quite scary. I'm quite risk averse, but it is, I guess, that feeling of triumph, of discovering something new, usually pushing yourself a little bit out of your boundaries, past your boundaries to do so. And so, risk, discovery, growth, I'm going to say, is adventure.
can be small adventures too, but it's like it does that. It pushes you
Yeah.
that little bit. And I think what's so beautiful about like all three terms is they mean so much to people, but they mean so many different things to people. And
Hmm.
so being able to celebrate like this big birthday book adventure is just, it opens up so much joy for the whole of WA and the community. And going kind of back to the acronyms, obviously CBCA is the Children's Book Council of Australia, 80 years. What a feat, like you said. What does it mean to you, the actual whole national organisation, as well as the branch here in WA? What does CBCA mean to you?
Think it's that word community that we talked about, and it is so much more. CBCA, Children's Book Council, sounds so formal and like this really important organization, and it is really, really important. But the formal, I'm not so sure because there is so much love in CBCA. There is so much community. We are so lucky here in WA to have a night with our stars each year where we authors and illustrators get to, I guess, share our work with a whole bunch of librarians, schools, other authors, illustrators, creators, and really it's a chance for us to showcase ourselves. But it looking back, it's really, I guess, a showcase of CBCA and I guess the effort they go to showcase the creatives that we have here. And so whenever I think of CBCA, I think of this massive cheer squad that we are so, so lucky to have behind us. And I think that is the coolest image to have in mind.
I don't think I'm gonna say it another way now. Like I just like, and especially because you ever said book of the year and there's like medals involved, I can just see this like
It
cheer squad in my
100%
head.
is.
Yeah,
And it's funny because somebody said to me once when I was nervous about presenting at my first ANWOS, and someone was like, you've got to remember that everybody in that crowd is there to cheer you on. They've all got your back. And it couldn't be more true because if you get a room full of people who are really passionate about kids' books, they genuinely want you to do well. And if you're standing at the front, you can pretty much get them to do anything that you want. If I wanted people to stand up and dance, they're all going to do it because they don't want me to feel that awkwardness of having crickets. And I'm like, this
yeah,
is the ultimate cheer squad that you could ever have. Everyone who
yeah.
gets on board for CBCA. Like a big
I love
hug.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, I'm only going to see CBCA now as a cheer squad. I'm going to walk into the committee meeting and be like, guys, where's our pom poms? Let's do this. Like, we
Chenée
need to
said we're a
practice.
cheer squad, so we are.
Yeah, we've got this now. 80 years. What would you like to see over the next 80 years?
I think it's already in such a great place, but I think it's just that continual growth to have more faces on board because that means that books are still a thing. They're still growing. The passion for books is still alive. And the more new faces we get involved, I guess the more success we're having at getting books in front of kids, if that makes sense.
Sharing it with more people and getting more people involved. And we've seen in my little time with them so far, I'm seeing more people come through, and it is that just like-minded community again, people who want to come in and talk books and celebrate books and promote authors. I like that. I love to think that how many people would, over the next 80 years would we get involved in CBCA, and how many people have been before us? I mean,
Definitely.
yeah,
I
that's
feel like it's a
incredible.
celebration of all the things, I guess, as a kid, when I was really into my books, always had my nose in a book. It probably wasn't the coolest thing when I was 10 or 11. And I got to that point as I grew where I was like, oh, I'm not going to share with people what I'm reading at the moment because nobody wants to know. But now, fast forward many decades, and everyone wants to know because we're all like-minded. We all love books. And we just really want CBCA to keep growing so that that passion is alive and we can all be daggy book lovers together.
And I love that it feels not so daggy anymore. Like it feels like
It's
we've
not daggy,
all
it's
kind of
cool.
come through this big, like strong, yeah, we're like, it's
We have
amazing.
a tribe.
Absolutely. I'm going to pin just like question actually from you guys as the ambassadors are doing these beautiful social posts that we've kind of given you little prompts and challenges and different things like that. But talking about, you know, 80 years, obviously we've done book weeks. All of us have done book week parades and how wonderful they are and the fact that they started, years and years ago. Do you have a standout costume in your mind? Something that you remember from like a book week parade that you're so proud of?
Okay, proud is a funny word to use. I bring out the photos every time I do a school visit at a school, and my photos probably make a certain group of kids feel much more comfortable attending book week. Those kids that really dread dressing up because I love Book Week now. I love that it's a celebration of books and reading, and I always loved that aspect of it. But the costume parade actually filled me with dread because I don't come from an overly creative household, but I grew up dancing. So my mum's solution to Book Week was always to check the dance wardrobe, find a costume that we could tie to a book, whether it was my favorite book or not. It didn't really matter as long as we could kind of make it work. And I think the standout wasn't a costume of mine. I went as a ladybird one year, which I'm still not sure what
What
book that
book?
went with because I didn't have one in hand in the photo. But my poor sister got dressed as the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but the solution to this was she wasn't a dancer, but the previous year we'd gone to the Royal Show and she had bought this really terrifying mask that fully went over her head. And Mum goes, "Well, you can make use of that mask. You've got that. We're going to use one of Dad's belts to secure a cushion to your back. And then we've got this old like lino tablecloth that we're going to put over the top of it as a cape." And so I got off pretty lightly with the dance
Yeah.
costumes, but her costume, I think, is the winner of bad book week costumes.
And also the best at the same time, like
Yeah,
innovative. Yeah.
it was very
Um,
innovative. It was made, except for the mask.
and look, your books are now here for the dance costume boxes.
I
You know,
needed my books back in book week.
ready to go now. We've got a portion on the website now that we've just started to release and we're adding to, which is all West Australian books as costumes, but simple. Because there's nothing worse than going the
That's
night
what
before, like,
parents
what's in
need.
the costume box? And you're like, look, fairy wings. We've got two fairy books. We've got Fairy Beach. We've got all these things. Your books are in there for anyone who's a dancer, being like tutus and even tracksuits. Like,
What you wear to a workout, really.
yeah,
I'm
and we're
filled
ready
with
to
dread
go.
now because I have a child that's coming through school and is going to need a book week costume this year. And I feel like there's an expectation that as an author, he should have a good costume, but it's also my busiest time of year. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what
The
can we
guide's there.
scrounge
We've got it
together?
for you.
Hunchback of Notre Dame it is.
Yeah, you know what to do. I do want to end off with a little bit of a game if you're happy, which
Mhm.
is the CBCA WA questions. So they're a little rapid fire, but we're going to do your favorites. So we've got the acronym is CBCA. So we've got character, book, color, animal, weather type, activity. I will run them through one by one. But let's find out what your
Can
favorites
I
are.
have more
So
than one word as an answer?
yes, of course you
Okay,
can.
very good.
Yeah, cool. What is your favorite character?
Okay, this is going to be my longest answer, but I'll make it quick. You can never go past Matilda Wormwood because of her passion for putting things right, but she's had her time in the sunshine. So, recent read of mine was by A.L. Tate, Willow Bright's Secret Plot. Willow Bright is an awesome character for those kids that feel a little bit out of place. She's quirky, but she has this like passion for justice and just this sparky personality. She's wonderful. And also, just to go back to my own book, probably Amelia, who never ever in one wrong turn and breaking point. She's never the favorite of kids. Valentina is sweet and she always gets a look in. But I love Amelia because she is unashamedly ambitious. She wants to be a professional ballerina and she just works her bum off to make it happen. She doesn't expect it to be handed to her. She works really hard. So she's my winner.
Oh, I love those. And such an important character point to bring up for those kids. You want to see yourself in books, and there are kids that know
Yes.
what they want to do, and they've said it when they were two, and they're going to do it when they're 20, and they just work at it. So I love that that's represented. What's your favorite book now?
Is Looking for Ella Brandy by Melina Marchetta because that was my family on the page. The sauce making day. We did that growing up and I still remember that feeling reading it and going, this is us. We do that.
Favorite color?
Burgundy. I wear way too much of it.
But you look so good in it, it's fine.
Thank you.
Favorite animal?
Horse.
Nice. Very cool. Have you ridden horses? Would you
I
want to
have
own?
ridden them growing up. I have always wanted to ride a horse. I grew up on a diet of the Saddle Club and Heartland and horse encyclopedias, a lot of non-fiction. I could have cared for a horse the amount that I read, but unfortunately, I did not have a horse. I was only allowed to
Not
ride in
owning
the
all
school
the books.
holidays.
Yeah, it didn't link. All the books did
No,
not mean you get a horse. Yeah, okay.
apparently not.
Unfair.
But I've got
What's
a
your
Great
favorite?
Dane now, so he's like the dog equivalent of a horse.
Yes, actually, to be fair, you have a giant horse-like dog. What's your favorite weather type?
Mm, sunny but cool.
Yeah,
If that makes sense. Like that beautiful start of spring weather.
yeah. And favorite activity to end off?
Oh, come on, it's got to be reading. It's got to be reading, the most relaxing thing to do at the end of the day.
I feel like as long as you know there's no pressure to say that, that's fine.
No, no pressure. I mean, I've
It
got two
is
small
reading.
boys, so it is also sleeping at the moment, but reading first.
Yeah, reading first, then sleeping. But it is because it can give you the excitement, it can give you the relaxation. It's something that you can
All the
do
things, it's all the things.
anytime as well.
And very
When you
portable.
get time. Yes, when you get the time, it can be an anytime activity. Um, well, that's the CBCA WA quickfire. I'm very excited. We'll line them all up after the 15 and see what everyone's answers are. Thank you so much for your time and being on this little adventure. We've done a photo shoot adventure. We're doing social media adventures now, a podcast, and the final adventure is going to be the birthday book adventure at State Library on the 23rd of August. I've got some little schemes and plans for the ambassadors on the day of some fun things you guys are going to get to run around and do. So thank you so much for being an ambassador here with us over the 80th year. We very much appreciate all that you're doing for us and all that you do in the literature community. And just thank you so much for your time, Chenée. It's been wonderful.
The pleasure is honestly all mine. A big happy birthday to CBCA. We are so lucky to have amazing cheerleaders.